Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator. The beginning of everything.
Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
It is episode 236 of The Brink of Sanity. I am Jay. With me, as always, is Mark. And we got comedian Dustin Hanson in the house.
How's it going, everybody?
Somewhere. How you doing, Dustin?
I'm okay. I was just telling you guys before the show, just part of being my age now, which is 27, and doing what I'm doing is just accepting the fact that I'm constantly exhausted, just constantly tired, and I can't sleep as much. You know what? I don't even want to be famous. I just want to sleep till I wake up.
Why are you constantly tired? That's a question. I am a parent with two kids, and I'm very tired for different reasons. Why? Because you do a lot of shows late, and then you have to
Then get up and go to work again, and it's an endless cycle of misery.
You work a regular job, like 9 to 5?
Yeah, I work a 10 to 6 job,
Okay.
and then have time going to like the village to do shows after that.
How often do you do shows?
I do I get up on stage, I'd say like 6 times a week, 5 times a week. I do 2 on Sundays, and that goes into a late show. So I already start the week off tired. And then I do 2 on Tuesday, and then I do 1 or 2 on Thursday, and then I pick up a Saturday spot here and there.
So you have some busy nights. I would ask you, your boss at work, if he had to use one word to describe you, would he say worthless?
He would probably say irritable. That's probably what he would say. I don't think Go ahead.
How do you function at work being this tired?
It's really the first 4 hours of work is pure adrenaline. So I'm on and I'm doing it, and it's good to get into a groove. I swear to God, I'd be fine if I just worked 4 hours a day. But I work in a job. I work in finance, and I don't do sales, thank God. But I work I support the sales people. They got to ask me questions and shit, and I hate all of them.
And that gives you adrenaline?
Yeah, because it's at least I'm grooving. I'm getting something done, and I'm kind of pumped from the show the previous night, especially if I did well. If I did well, I'm still riding a high a little bit.
So do people ever at work are I have a question about this derivatives deal and make me laugh, funny man?
Oh yeah, that's the worst too, when they find out you're a comedian and they're like, I got a joke for you, and you're like, I don't want to hear it. I've gotten to the point, I've had this job since I started comedy, and I've also had this job since I've been in New York. It's the only job I've had. Just lucked out, got a job that I can stick with, and it doesn't drive me too nuts. And so, yeah, but it's great for that reason, but there are times that people come up to me and they're like, I got a joke for you. And it's I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I actually say that to people at work. I know I come off as a dick. I know, but they got fucking 10 hours. They went to sleep at 10 p.m. It's just not fair. You know?
You're like, Dustin, I don't know why you're not laughing. She had an abortion. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's first of all, I am trying to be semi-professionally funny. And you don't even give a shit, and your joke's not funny, and you're in a good mood because you're fine with your life. So, it's completely not fair.
Yeah, the funny thing about it, comedians, people will do that. They come up to you and, no one feels like it's, out of place to try to tell a joke to you. But no one would be like, hey, doctor, I'm going to remove this kidney from a squirrel. Watch this.
Yeah, nobody does it. No one's like, hey, you play the piano. Dooba-dooba-dooba-doo. And it's shut up.
Hey, Billy Joel, I can sing The Wheels on the Bus. Ha
It's the only time that happens.
Yeah, you're the only profession where everyone's like, yeah. I mean, I understand you're a professional comedian and stuff. I tell jokes at work. People should. I'm on stage. I'm probably as good as you. You've been working out for years. I could probably do it all too.
My friend John said,
that's the problem. Everybody thinks they're funny, man. Everybody does. I was saying to... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I got a choppy connection, so I can't always tell when you guys are saying stuff.
Why is the connection choppy, Jay?
I think it's my internet, to be honest with you.
Do you use dial-up?
I plug it right into the fax machine, so I think it's pretty good.
Cool.
But
Wicked.
Do you have to share internet with the whole building? Like you have to share random people walking into your fridge?
yeah, I do. You guys still remember that too?
Holy shit! I
You remember
forgot
my
now. Now I'm just
cave
like
roommate.
you're home of like bizarreness. Do you think?
Yeah, because you're like a family man.
Yeah, no, I don't share the my refrigerator with the neighbors. You work in finance. Can you I would think in finance you'd earn enough to own your own refrigerator or just have your own like. Not
Well,
to
I get paid like
your arrangement sounds
enough.
hilarious because you have that weird guy that comes up from downstairs to use your refrigerator, right?
Yeah. He's basically a cave troll. He comes up and uses their shower at like the wrong time. Like what the fuck are you? Where do you need to go at 7?
So here's my theory. My theory is that you probably earn enough that you're gonna get your own place, but you live there for the sake of your career because it creates comedy for you.
A little bit. I mean, I had a bit about it for a while, and it's like I don't make that much in like New York City dollars. You know, I make enough to like live okay and like save a little bit of money, but like I live in a nice little brownstone in Brooklyn with 3 roommates. Like if I were to move out and live by myself and like rent my own place in like the Upper East Side or something like that, I would totally be struggling. That would just be an awful move for me. I mean, like it's much better to have roommates.
For those that don't live in New York City dollars are the equivalent of, say, what you'd buy an entire city for in Idaho. That's where you can get an apartment for in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably be rich in other cities, and I can barely afford to exist here. It's disgusting.
Would you like to take your salary and live in Budapest?
I would like to take my salary.
Like a king.
I could probably just move like 3 states to the left and be living real well.
Yeah, I mean, if I could handle living in Ohio, I'd be sitting pretty. But like the problem is there's no opportunities in Ohio and all the people suck.
Right.
No offense to Ohio listeners.
The problem with Ohio
guys
is
are
that you're
monsters.
in Ohio.
You'd be getting up 6 times a week in Ohio, being like, not really happy to be here. I think one of the guys in the back is having sex with a cow, and good night. I'm gonna
I don't think you can. I don't think you can get. Maybe if you live in Cleveland, maybe there's some kind of scene there. Like the problem is like the quality just goes way down because part of being in New York and being a comedian is just handling just the waves of apathy that free audiences give you, and that makes you a good comic. Because I mean, like those Taj Mahal gigs I was doing, like there's road hacks that come in. There are people that do well in fucking Missouri, like that's their audience, and then they come to Atlantic City, which is kind of like baby New York a little bit, and the people are like drunk and they're Jersey fuckers, and they're like, make us laugh, and then some guy talks about how like his wife is in therapy, and there's like not a lot of punch to it, and the people just eat him alive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you get in Ohio, but like that, I guess that's why my rent's jacked up, which is weird.
Wait, the guy that
as far as like a lifestyle thing.
the guy that does the therapy joke about his wife is like that the road hack.
Yeah, he's just like I found out my wife is not faithful to me, and the weird thing is I found that out in therapy, and it's like that's not gonna work.
Oh, okay.
That's just like you're just kind of. I'm just in the back with my head in my hands, like having a panic attack for this guy, as like 100 rabid animals are just ready to like descend on this dude. You know what I mean?
Why is it so much? Why like so the? I never like are the audience so less intelligent? Like why does like some of this stuff work some places and it's terrible other places?
I think it's slower pace in the middle of the country, especially, and there's not the saturation because around here, show business is kind of like everywhere, and it's kind of thrown in your face. Like you go on the subway, and there's just like I see comedians that I've done shows alongside. Like not to say that I'm at like a level of a comedian you can see their poster on the subway, but it's like, hey, I was at a workout room with them. They were trying their jokes out. I was trying mine. It's like in your face. And so you get and New Yorkers live like a fucking mile a minute. And so when they sit down and use their hard-earned time to see a show, they're like, this better make me fucking laugh or I'm leaving, you know? Whereas, I guess the Midwest, I mean, I grew up in Wisconsin, so I kind of know the mentality where it's like, oh, we're going to go out and see a show. It's going to be fun. We're going to have all our friends together. We're going to drive 25 miles per hour to get there. Like, that whole thing is a completely different mentality.
Honey, it's okay. He didn't make me laugh tonight. I was just waiting to die anyway. Got 30 more years on it.
Yeah.
The thing I hate the most is I actually had this happen on Saturday. The comedian told 3 bad jokes in a row and then immediately just started blaming the audience.
That's what I hate the most. I agree with that. I agree when they take it out of the audience because they made a joke that wasn't funny.
Yeah.
But the joke had like some like edge to it. It was like, your butts are clenching because they made a joke about black people. But like your joke just wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't even edgy. It was just a stupid, shitty joke. And then she's like,
it was just bad.
yeah, it was just terrible. And then she's like, what, is this thing on? I'm like, well, the comedian before you sure got
You
a
guys
lot of
don't
laughs.
think cottage cheese is hilarious? It's like, fucking no, man. It's just front of the mill.
It was Carolyn Ray, the aunt from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Bombed hard. Bombed real hard.
The other thing I kind of hate is like, I hate when a comedian spends too much time talking to the audience. I always find
Yeah.
and I don't know if you do that. So I hope do you talk to the audience a lot?
Rarely. Most of it is just greasing the wheels for my next joke.
You would
I
not
have-
like Judah Freelander because his entire set is crowd work.
I understand like the
weird.
host doing like talking to the audience, gotta get everyone in the mood. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But when the guy gets up and starts doing it, like the guy that's like supposed to be one of the main performers, I'm just like, dude, write a fucking act. I'm not here to hear you talk to the crowd and go, what do you do for a living? And the guy doesn't answer. You go, you don't know what you do for a living? Ha ha ha! And you're like, just fucking write an act, dude. I paid like fucking. I got 2 drinks. I got fucking do an act.
That was 10 minutes of Judah Freelander.
10 minutes. Here's the thing. 10 minutes of regular crowd work is kind of a ripoff because it's like everybody knows what crowd work sounds like, you know. And to compare that to people that sit down and like really try to rack their brain for something not only original as a premise, but to like really turn it on its head and make you think. I mean, that's comparing like Louis C.K., for example, to, I don't know, somebody who just does crowd work. The only person who I know for a fact who does excellent crowd work, and I would sit through the whole thing and not feel ripped off at all, is Jay Okerson. If you guys ever saw that, like he's very quick on his feet and does some like really, really interesting stuff with it. But like the thing is, with crowd work, it's really hard to inject philosophical ideas into it while still being like, hey, we're just having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's just all it's about is get everyone to kind of like everyone always answers something weird and like they get a couple jokes in, but it just seems to me like that's like the minor leagues of jokes. It's just like easy laughs that aren't. No one's like, oh man, you know, I was at a great show last night because someone in the audience like said what he did for a living, but didn't really explain it. Everyone was confused and it was hilarious. So
yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
I always feel like, oh, good talk. This is what do you do for? Oh man, wow, where are you from? That place is crazy. Good thing you're here. So like, oh, you guys fucking tonight? It's like, wow, you made a couple uncomfortable. Congratulations. At the expense of their uncomfortability, you made the room giggle a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like I've heard it a million times.
What's the worst show you've ever done? What's a show that you were like, oh man, not just a show that you didn't get last. What was it the worst thing worst show experience?
Oh, I've had so many, but like I remember I used to run a show in the Lower East Side called Norman. The bar was called Norman's K. Owner fucking hated us right off the bat. He didn't even want us there, but somehow he begrudgingly agreed to do it. So the sound system never worked. They had a sound system, like they had speakers, and they're like, you can plug your mic into this, but it never worked. The mic would never translate into the sound system. So we'd be like, every show would start out with us going, what the fuck? And then we'd try to get people off the street. And this is on the edge of the Lower East Side, kind of by Chinatown. It just doesn't have the foot traffic of, like, say, the Village does. So we're trying to get people off the street, like, please come to this comedy. Come on. And then we'd get like 5 people. sometimes, and that's okay. Sometimes we'd get one person. I remember hosting a show, doing the 10 minutes at the top to warm them up to one fucking dude with his arms crossed.
That must be the best crowd work ever. That would be my favorite part of the show.
I was
Bob, where you from?
You get a load of this guy,
I had to be,
you know.
like really personal with him. Like, what are you doing here?
Bob, you want to talk about your career? We can make it therapy, whatever. It's just you.
You can't really make
At
fun
one
of him.
point-
I mean, that takes out
at
half
one
the
point-
crowd work.
Exactly. I would just drive him out of the show if it was up to me right now. But like, I was trying to like keep that show together. I think some people came in afterwards from that guy. I remember at one point at the end of the run that we had before the owner was just like, "No, you can't do it anymore." Was when we would do comedy upstairs, and then the bar was downstairs. But the upstairs part of the bar had like it was kind of a balcony-ish thing, like you could see down to the bar. So one time, it was a night we actually got the mic to work. We did comedy from up on the balcony to 5 people seated at the bar. We'd be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? You want to see?" Like, we yelled down at these people like we were crazy people yelling from on top of a building, and did a show that way. And 2 people really liked it. The 3 people were like, "Come on, man, we're just trying to drink." But like, it was trying to get that to work might be one of the dumbest / craziest things I've ever done.
I'm on a date here. Is he gonna get some tonight? Dude, you really like? Why the fuck do you have to do this? Stop screaming!
They're like, "We're down. We thought we were safe from you guys. We thought that was going to be contained upstairs." We're like, "No, you either gotta leave or bear this."
It's like just Statler and Waldorf while you're on your date, just ripping you apart.
It'd be. I actually think you should be assigned for comedians for an office place. We just shout down to people while they're doing work and making jokes.
Just go from office to office doing crowd work.
Jay, are you reading comics at work? Fuck, man, I'm just like, leave me, don't call me out.
There's a show. There's a show in the Village like that right now. They're doing it right now like that, and it's weird. It's like a lot of the newer comics do it. I don't do it because I've done the show I just told you about, and I'm like, I know how that goes. But they do it at a bar. I'm not going to name the place because I'm going to shit on it. They do it at a bar, and it's the same thing. They set up a stage area. It's not a stage. They just kind of square it off a little bit. They put a microphone there, and then whoever happens to be at the bar is now a comedy audience. And they didn't enter into that transaction. And then I always hear stories about that. I always hear like, "Man, during what's-his-face set, the people at the bar got really nasty and started heckling him. And they said to like, shut up and stuff." And it's like, yeah, but it's kind of your fault. Like, it's one thing if you're like, "Hey, we have a comedy show, come on in," and they're like, "Yes, I'll do that." And then they enter into that social contract, which is, I tell jokes, you stay quiet or laugh. That's pretty much it. But these people wanted to drink and have a conversation at their local bar, and then some fucking asshole with a microphone is now shouting at them.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
I'm gonna think.
I think that gives you license to heckle at that point.
I'm gonna try to think of the worst possible situations for an open open mic night. The microphone is behind the bar, and you have to serve drinks in between jokes.
It's at a laundromat, and your laundry change. You have to change your laundry in the middle of your set, or you're gonna lose your spot.
I live by a laundromat.
So my parents, they always get on my case. I'll get the tequila. Just leave me alone, okay? Anyway.
I live by a laundromat that had singles night. I feel like that's kind of awkward, like folding up your underwear and be like, "So
you like Hello Kitty too, huh?
So you don't wash your clothes very often, do you?"
I almost think that's kind of not a bad idea for the laundromat. I mean, what are you gonna have, trivia night?
I don't know. Just
I don't know. You could have track mark contests. Who's got the longest lines?
Swap underwear night.
How much worse could that possibly be from a speed dating thing? It sounds. I mean, I think that sounds more interesting at least.
I kind of want to do
speed dating.
speed dating.
Horrendous.
I don't know. I kind of want to do speed dating, but not like ask any normal questions ever.
I only wanted the speed dating from like a 40-year-old virgin. That's my picture of what speed dating is, and that I would do that. I would make jokes and whatever.
I want to film like a speed dating skit where like it's a hidden camera thing, and I just go in there and just ask every single woman about Battlestar Galactica, and just keep steering the conversation towards Battlestar Galactica the whole time.
I would guess that like 1 out of every 3 speed dating events in New York City has an asshole comic there. Like this one guy, like every time, just like, oh, I get it. You're gonna ask me about cheddar cheese because that's a funny thing to ask me on a date. You know, I'm trying to meet someone here. I'm fucking 40 and single, and you're making a joke out of it. Die.
I think it's a double-edged sword because it's like it makes you jaded, which makes it easier for you to be outraged against stuff, which can add fuel to your fire. But like if you're a comic who's having trouble dating and you're like in your 40s, you're probably not going to be the easiest one to talk to right off the bat. You're just going to be like so angry already because of how your life has gone. If you're still like a bar comic and just like some lady's like, so what do you like to do? I like to yell at fucking strangers all night.
Can we cut the speed dating? You're Dustin's on speed dating. Hi, Dustin. I'm Marcy. Nice to meet you.
What do you want?
Well,
That's
I
pretty
want to
much-
have 2 kids, a white picket fence. What do you want out of life?
You know, let me tell you what the problem is with you ladies. You always want the same shit from every guy, but you're not upfront about it. White picket fence, 2 kids. Who's going to be supplying the money for that shit? And in this economy, that's complete bullshit. Do you know who's going to be president? Donald Trump is going to be president, and we're going to all be exported out of this fucking country. Nobody fucking listens to me anymore.
I'm gonna check off not a match on my card. If that's okay, I'll talk to you. You might want to switch over to the next person.
Do you like wait. Do you like Battlestar Galactica?
Oh, I haven't seen it. It's on my my Netflix queue. Have you seen that new show involving that couple that they don't really get along, but they do get along, and they have a wacky neighbor?
All of them?
I hope they do.
John and Kate plus 8?
I heard Netflix. They're doing Fuller House. I'm hoping they do Growing More Pains and Who's Still the Boss and Cheers Again and all the shows from my youth. It would be pretty good.
I mean, I think you're demonstrating how just bad in general speed dating would be because you're gonna get normal people, and normal people who like regular stuff like Full House would be. That's just hard enough. You know what I mean?
I think they should do step by step next. I want to see what Cody's up to. You guys like this,
I
Cody?
don't really have much to say to that.
Why did every sitcom have like a stoner neighbor who they just called wacky, but he was clearly just fucked up beyond belief?
Do you think along the same lines, Jaleel White's like, listen, they're gonna call. How could they not do Family Matters next? They're gonna call. Mom, I'm not gonna have to move. I don't have to live here that much longer. Once they get the Netflix money, I can move out.
He was in one episode of Psych.
I thought he would have done more. Someone was talking about that. I was like, oh, I wonder what Jaleel White's been doing. And then I looked up his IMDb whatever page, and I can't say it. I'm fucking close. It's like you can normally say these words, and now you can't. And this is like, I'm done saying that word. So you look up that page where they have people's careers on them, and he hasn't done that much since Family Matters. It's a little disappointing. I thought he would do more because I thought when he's more Jaleel White, less Urkel, he could be a star. Or in stuff.
You really put a lot of thought into Jaleel White's career, huh?
I thought he would. I could see him doing. The thing is,
You're his agent, aren't you?
I am. I don't think he should be so typecast. Like he doesn't look like Urkel when he's out of like the glasses and like the dorky clothes.
Yeah, he's more like a Stefan type of guy.
Yeah, exactly. I thought Stefan could do. I don't know. He could be like the third lead on a decent comedy on NBC. I don't know what that comedy would be.
First, they'd have to get a decent comedy.
Yes. So maybe when they finally he's like on the calling Netflix, just come on guys, it's Family Matters still. They love Fuller House. They'll love our show too. This is racial, isn't it?
They should take it the other direction, just call it Family Doesn't Matter, and it's just a single mom.
They should have they should have Steve just destroy that entire family.
It should be Family Matters, and it's like it's later on, and Steve Urkel's grown up, and he's gone through like 2 failed marriages, and it's just him and like slowly his life is falling apart. It'd be basically like what's that Nicolas Cage movie, like Escaping Las Vegas or whatever, Leaving Las Vegas, but with Steve Urkel. I'd watch the shit out of that.
What's the dad's name? Carl?
Carl.
Yeah, so my version's a little darker. The opening, the new season on Netflix opens with Urkel wearing Carl's face. And from there, it gets dark.
Oh, what is the girl you had a crush on? Laura? Laura's like a crackhead.
Jump the shark in the first episode.
Yeah, then the rest of the show is the cops are after him. He's trying to catch Laura. It goes in a different direction, but I think it still goes interesting.
Laura has 7 kids from 5 different dads.
Opening.
You know what show I really am annoyed by is and I haven't started watching the second season of it, and I don't think I'm going to. Is what's the Breaking Bad prequel?
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better Call Saul. Did you guys watch that?
I watched the first season.
I caught a little bit of it. Bob Odenkirk's a beast. I mean, I liked it from what I saw. My roommate was watching. I was dipping in and out, and I don't know. I was really enthralled by it.
It's not like a bad show. It's not like a great show. It's an okay show on its own, but you want him to be Saul. And the reason his character was popular because he was Saul on Breaking Bad. All they've done is taken him and pretend he's Saul. He's a different character on a completely different show. And he's not that interesting of a character. It's kind of a boring show.
Yeah, I'm giving it 3 episodes. I'm recording the second season. If he's not Saul by the 3rd episode, I'm done.
Well, you know how that thing's going to end, right? Where it's like, it ends with Walter White walking into his office and being like, introducing himself, and that's like the end. You can see it happening. It's
like doing a prequel to 24 and have like Jack Bauer be a math teacher before he even decides to go into special ops. He's just like, yeah, no, I teach math. I have nothing. I'm not even into like. Yeah, but like he would torture those kids into like solving math problems though. Yeah, like, you know what I could do? I could stuff this whole fucking chalkboard down your throat unless you give me the fucking answer. No, but you know what it would be. Guys, I'm going to give you detention. Oh, you're the worst, Jack. You're torturing us to Mr. Bauer to learn our math. But it would just be like him torturing them through like detention. It would just be the worst. That's what other shows would be that they would destroy. It'd be Lost, but it would be all the characters before they ever even like they like when they were like just teenagers, had nothing to do with this whatsoever. It makes me angry. This better.
You're like Lost, but they're at the airport.
It's
so
almost like a
security, and it's like really boring. They're checking their bags.
Yeah, exactly. The entire thing is shot in the airport before the flight takes off.
It's just all the flashbacks that they filled the episodes with without them on the island.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bullshit. I mean, I think after season 2 of Lost, it really went downhill.
I think we're losing audio.
Yeah, Dustin, we're losing you, man.
And what? Are we? Can you hear me?
Could you ask your roommate to turn off the toaster? I think you're start working better.
All right, let me.
Just hang up and call back.
Hang up and call back.
Okay.
Could be Skype too. You never know.
Could be a lot of things. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but in this one, they're just regular turtles before they ever got like mutated. More, Jay. More bad jokes. How are you doing, Jay? I have a question for you.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Dustin to call back, I have a what if for you. Would you prefer? Where's my what if? Would you prefer to make $100,000 more than you make right now, and be 50 pounds fatter? Not 50 pounds of muscle, but 50 pounds just fatter.
Mm-hmm.
Or make $20,000 less and be able to run a 4-minute mile and bench 300 pounds.
Huh.
So either you can make 20K less and be in fantastic physical shape, or 100K more and be not great shape.
I would go with 20 pounds less. I mean, 20 grand less.
Hey,
Dustin, I have a question for you. I was feeling some time while we were waiting for you. I have a what if for you, or would you rather? Sorry.
Okay.
Would you rather make 100 grand more than you make right now, but you also are 50 pounds fatter?
Oh.
Or 20K less than you make right now, but you're able to run a 4-minute mile and bench 300 pounds?
I probably would go with the first one because I don't.
100K Jay, would you went with the first one or the second one, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Can you imagine how much sleep apnea I'd have with an extra 50 pounds?
But where's the 50 pounds go? Can you put it all in your ass? Like, can you put it where it counts?
It's all in your big toe.
Just hanging off your face like a tumor.
Yeah,
Just jowls. Just
There was this
jangly
guy. Well, I never know what happened to him. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. He was on the Howard Stern show. He had somehow like hit his ball, got his balls hit or something, and his ball like inflated. And at the time he was on the show, his balls weighed like 100 pounds. He had to wheel them around.
Like Randy from South Park, it actually happened.
It actually happened. He was supposed to go see the special surgery, and I don't know what actually happened. He was probably trying to raise money for the surgery, but the surgery was supposed to be like $1 million.
I saw a video like that. He was sitting on them like a beanbag.
It was the most insane thing possible.
Oh, yeah, and he had a helper to help him. I'm not even joking. He had a
I'm not
helper.
even sure about this.
He's got a ball helper. Somebody's job is I'm a testicle helper.
Literally the worst job on the planet.
In the audience, what do you do? I'm a ball helper. Make jokes about that.
You can't. It's already a fucking joke. You can't do anything.
I'm sorry. What do you? I help someone with get their testicles around. You know, their big testicles.
All right then.
Who's from Ohio?
All right. What do you guys think of the president?
Trump's gonna be president.
I can't wait till the elections are over. I don't like. I have a preference, I guess, who I think should win, but like I don't care as much as I just don't want to hear any more election jokes. I just want it to go away.
Who's your preference?
I like Bernie, but I mean, like, if Hillary won, I'd be like, whatever, sure. You know,
What if Trump won? We'd be like, whatever.
I'd be pretty much whatever because, like, Trump says all this shit, but like the president can't do that much. They need like Congress, and he's a fucking weird psychopath too. So like they might probably find a way to get him out of there. He might do something really fucked up, and then like whoever's the vice president will take over.
So I kind of think it's ridiculous. Everyone's calling him like Hitler and Mussolini, and I actually had a family event where people were debating like, no, he's a fascist, and I'm like, I think he's just an opportunist. He's not really a fascist.
Yeah.
But then I heard that his ex-wife Ivanka Trump said this, and he confirmed it, that he used to keep in his bedroom cabinet or bedroom bookshelf, whatever, a book, not Mein Kampf, but another book by Hitler with all his speeches. And
Hitler's got like other books.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bestseller. He got lots. Mein Kampf was a bestseller, so he probably wrote a sequel. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Mein Kampfer.
Yeah.
New on Netflix, the makers of Fuller's House, Mein Kampfer. I would just think during the debate, even I still don't think he's Hitler, but I would just point that out. They'd be like, next we're going to discuss Obamacare. I'd be like, 1 second, this guy has a Nazi book he slept with. He sleeps with a Nazi book. And Obamacare is bad. Like, why would you not point it out? Like, everything should just be about, like, what would I do about immigrants? One thing I wouldn't do was keep a book by Hitler in my bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, like, the politicians he's going up against are the dudes who are, like, really stiff, got, like, Marco Rubio or whatever, who's, like, it's all of a sudden a surprise when Marco Rubio's like, he's got small hands, and they're like, whoa, big shots, and it's like, no, it's not. He's not making big shots at him. These people are just used to talking, like, somewhat confidently about broad national shit that people are concerned about. So then you get like Trump, who's just a big bully, and it looks like he's just mopping the floor with them, when in fact he's just, he's an entertainer. He just says a bunch of shit that he thinks people want to hear, and it looks a lot more exciting to people, so it looks like he's like really dominating these guys, but they're just stiff.
There was one thing, Jeb Bush was like talking about Trump not being tough, and Trump was just like, "Oh yeah, Jeb, you're a tough guy, right?" And it was just so funny. I was cracking up. And like, debates are hilarious now.
I watched one the other day. I couldn't even believe it. I usually don't watch that shit, but like I was just watching like Trump, like the most recent one with Trump, and like there was I went away from the debate after like 3 minutes of watching the whole thing, and I was like, I didn't learn anything. I don't know I am no more educated about anything from any of this.
No, it's just a bunch of guys screaming at each other. I actually think that whatever happens in the election, they should be forced to continue the debates. It's like the best thing I've ever seen on CNN.
It is. It's got to be pulling some ratings because they're like the most worked up they've ever been, at least that I can remember in my lifetime. There are people that they're just like insulting each other and shit. It's gonna go back. It's gonna devolve into like your mama offs like they had back in the 90s eventually.
Yeah,
that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing if Ruber just turns to Trump. Well, you're a tough guy. You know who's tough? Your mama when I plowed her ass.
Ooh, then the crowd, they go crazy.
Oh no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Oh, everybo's wearing like checkered shirts and like there's a bunch of neon dice with a black background behind them.
This debate brought to you by Yo MTV Raps.
Yo, you guys like Dunkin' Yo-Yos?
Yeah, Trump is pretty interesting. You guys, so you know what? You do a lot of you work a full-time job. You do the stand-up like 6 times a week. I think you have ambition. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
Jay, do you have ambition?
I mean, I'm going to school, so I guess that kind of counts.
That's not an ambitious answer.
I know.
I feel like it's like you should be like, you should wake up in the morning and want to conquer the day. Most of the time I wake up in the morning and go, okay, it's like 14 hours till I get back here. I'm still hung up on that. It's like, you have ambition, right, Jay? I just need some Sudafed. I guess I do. I would put that in I would say that in an interview.
Do you think between the 3 of us that we get a normal night's sleep if you like add up all the hours we sleep individually?
So
I would, maybe.
Not to complain, my daughter was sick last night, and she's 2, and so my son, if he was sick, sometimes he'd want us in the room, and I'd sleep on the floor for him, and he'd sleep. He would actually sleep though I was in there, and I'd sleep and whatever. My daughter is like, you try to sleep in there, and she goes, "Daddy, no, go!" And he gets all mad at you, but my wife doesn't want to sleep on the floor in there, and she's sick, so every 15 minutes she starts calling out for you. So I have to get out of bed, go in there, and then she's like, "Daddy, go." And so eventually I'm going to sleep on your floor. And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, I'm not getting out of my bed, coming in here every 5 freaking minutes." And this was my night for half the night, which is arguing with her to go back to sleep. Jesus. And then I go to work, and I'm like, I'm going to start the work day. Fuck. And I was like, how do people have ambition? I don't really understand. I just kind of want to get through the day half the time.
Part of my ambition is just to sleep when I wake up till I wake up, and then do what I care about. Because my job pays the bills, but I don't dream about it. So it's part of it is just getting out of that, and that's what motivates me. It's I wake up and I feel like dog shit in the morning, but it's maybe one day I won't have to feel like dog shit on a constant basis. And then that's kind of what, I don't know, it's more ambition is not it's not you wake up wide-eyed and you're like, I'm gonna conquer the sun. You wake up and you're like, I'm gonna muscle through this shit until I don't fucking have to, and that might take years. So I think it's more of an antiquated misery.
That's good that you have antiquated misery, though. I wish I could add that to my life.
Yeah,
You got something to live for. You got your kids, though. You're like, you could still be like, I had to deal with that shit with my daughter, but I felt like you're making a human being less shitty. I think
No, I
that's,
mean,
you're crafting a human being.
I'm really into my kids. I'm like, I live for the time I spend with my family. And sometimes it just gets hard and you get tired. And it's just the idea. I'm like dead tired sometimes. And you're like, you go to work and you're like, oh, like someone was asking me, and they were like a family member. And they was like, oh, are you gonna try to like, what's next in your career? I'm like, you know what? Can we just move on with the conversation? I don't want to talk about this. I'm just tired.
I want to talk about the future. I don't feel. It's here. That's the thing. That's what I was talking about earlier. And I don't know if we got it on tape, but it was about being at work. Where like, there are people that are so optimistic about like everything, and it's poisonous. It feels poisonous.
They say that entrepreneurs, people that like really succeed, they actually have a different mindset. Not like it's not that they say I'm just going to be optimistic about things. They actually believe things are going to work out better. And so they don't understand, they almost have trouble understanding that they could fail on stuff. And that's why they succeed. Whereas I'm like, oh, I could probably fail at that, so I'm just not going to do that.
I'm pretty much convinced that I fucked up my life so much that I'm just done. So I'm just trying to get through it.
See, that's where you, at least from what I've seen, that's like the success mindset. It's like, I'm so fucked up that what else are you gonna throw at me? I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like that kind of person is invincible.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already broken, so bring it on.
Every time I see somebody who's relentlessly optimistic, I'm like, I want to see the one bad experience that shatters you.
Yeah.
That's what and I know that's spiteful, but it's like, come on, man. You live in the same world I do.
That's not unique, though, because I feel like every celebrity, the entire general audience, the entire general public is rooting for that. It was like Britney Spears came on the scene, and she was this attractive young girl who had all the success, and everyone's like, oh, she's got problems. Yes, this is amazing.
Well, you never want to hear about somebody who, like, they grew up rich, they got famous, like, before they even went through puberty. Now they have, like, $100 million, and then everything's great forever. Like, fuck them. You know? Yeah,
and those people aren't even that happy because they don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate what they have. Because if I had that money right now, I'd probably not have to live with a cave troll, but I would increase my circumstances marginally, and then I'd be like, fuck it, the things that matter to me are going, like, sleeping enough and, like, writing and performing. Like, everything else is just like, can I buy a sandwich when I want? Like,
yeah,
I don't need a fucking stretch limo. Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
I think we need to talk about our living situation here. You seem to be on a network television show, yet you still share a refrigerator with all of us in the house. What is that, Dustin?
I need that. I need something to keep me on the ground.
You know what I do hate? I do hate when you hear about someone really rich who's like, they say like Warren Buffett still drives the same truck he's been driving for 30 years. And I'm like, Warren Buffett should drive like a fleet. You should have a fleet of Ferraris. You should have one Ferrari and throw it. It's disposable Ferraris. If you have that kind of money, you're just being an asshole by having that same truck for the last 30 years.
No. Also, like, don't lie to me, man. Like, nobody likes driving. Warren Buffett doesn't fucking drive. Rich people do not drive. Driving stinks. It's much better to have somebody drive for you, and I know that's what he does. Plus, he's old. Fuck him.
Yeah, he still has a truck, but it's like he had a mansion built around it, and he's using that as like a...
Yeah. You're telling me like Warren Buffett drives like a Ford F-150 to work? Where does he work? He probably lives where his office is in his mansion or whatever. Like, it's so when I hear that, like, how do you not call bullshit on that?
Yeah.
Warren Buffett's like the third richest person in the world, and he also lives in the Midwest, where like it's not even New York City living.
Yeah.
He's like,
so you
know which one I have, and think about how far it goes here.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how much goddamn Wisconsin cheese could he buy with that whole mansion full?
I'm surprised he hasn't bought Wisconsin by now.
He probably owns it, like, secretly.
He probably owns much of the United States. What the fuck knows? The guy's got like I think they said he's worth like $60 billion, which is like more than South America.
I can't even think of that amount of money. Like if I had $60 billion, I have no concept of how rich that is. Yeah. Like, in my head.
No, I think after like 100 million, you lose concept of
you don't
money.
know how much it goes down. You're like, so wait, I can buy like the fucking Best Buy and every car in the lot and at Best Buy down the street, and that doesn't dent that shit at all. And they're like, no, because the interest makes so much more money that like I don't even know how to spend this.
The only concept I would have is that a certain amount of money I could buy like a sports franchise. I could be like, oh, here's $2 billion for the Mets, or I'll pay an extra $1 billion for the Mets. That's the only place. Like outside of that, I'm like, sure, what you do with the money.
I guess you buy like cities with it. I guess you have to buy shit that like is so big that it's not conceivable. I know that there's shit in New York City that like the real estate, like I guess you can buy suites in towers that are next to Central Park for like several $1 million, and I guess people they do this to make more money. They buy a $7 million suite next to Central Park, don't live in it, and then wait like 2 years and sell it for like $9 million.
While renting it out for like $50,000 a month in the meantime.
Yeah, or something like that, and just to cover their, which is fucking like so ridiculous, isn't it? Because like it's already like everyone's scrambling to get into Manhattan, and then there's just people that have this space and don't even care.
There was some Russian oligarch who bought his daughter or daughters like an $87 million penthouse in somewhere, I guess, with Central Park views. And it was some reason I was like, this guy just bought it. Like his daughter is like, Daddy bought me an $87 million apartment. Not even the dad had no interest in living there, just for his daughter. That's her starter place.
That's fuck. Then she can go to college. She's got a little study pad.
That girl's not going to grow up to be a cunt.
With a yeah. How does it change you when you have a piano that is also a pool?
Did you ever see it? There was a documentary, a really interesting one called Born Rich. You guys seen that?
No.
It's done by one of the heirs to the Johnson & Johnson fortune. And he does like interviews like people in his circle and all these really rich people. And some of the people seem actually Trump's daughter, Marla Maple, whatever her name was, his daughter actually seemed one of the more well-adjusted. But some guys just seem so goddamn weird. Like one guy, we just talking about he'd get like all these clothes made. He's talking about the importance of the buttons, and you were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's
and one
so
guy was like,
crazy.
and this guy's dad, like the guy Johnson Johnson family, his dad was also just an heir. Like they didn't really work for the company. And his dad's like, "Oh, I mean, you should get into other things. Like you can collect maps." And he's like, and he like made fun of that in the
That's
video.
so
He
weird.
was a little more grounded, but it was so weird. There was some, and people had like major drug issues. And at the end of the day, though, I wouldn't mind trying this and see if it works out poorly for me. So you give me $80 million as a kid and I'll see if it works out better for me.
I don't think I would be good with. I'm already like somewhat egotistical. I mean, just from the sheer fact that I get up in front of strangers and I'm like, pay attention to me. So that's already like a bad sign. And I didn't like my parents were like pretty like upperish middle class, and they didn't give me any money, but like I lived okay, and I'm still kind of fucky. So like I feel like if I had $80 million, I'd be one of the worst people.
You didn't laugh at that joke, audience? Well, I could buy you and sell you. Here's my bank statement. Go fuck yourselves. Yeah, I think I killed tonight. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. There's a guy, not gonna mention names, dude who made a lot of money before doing comedy, doesn't have a job anymore, and he goes up there really, really bad, like so bad that like we always try to like put him at a strategic point in the show where it doesn't lull too bad from what he does so that the audience doesn't leave. Mm-hmm. And every time he comes back from being on stage, gets a whiskey on the rocks, and then like, hey, how'd it go there? And he's like, no, not bad, pretty good. And it's like, man, I was there.
Is he when you say he's like, did he make money? Like, is he like a well-known individual just turned to comedy, or is it something that like he made a lot of money in like a private sector where no one knows him, and then he's just doing this?
Yeah, he made money. He made money in the financial industry, and I think I don't even know what he did. Like stocks, whatever. I'll just say stocks. And He's in his 30s now, and I think he started comedy in his early 30s. He's in his mid 30s now, pretty much as bad as when he started. But like the thing is, he's so rich, there's no motivation to improve. Like he doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, pretty good, whatever. I'll wait. I have a fucking place upstate that I can drive with my convertible and my $2,000 dog.
Is I know you said it's 30, but I'm guessing maybe you're just saying that to hide is the guy's name Bernard Madoff?
Yes, it is.
That would be pretty funny if he's getting up
It is. His name is Bernard Madoff. Well, I guess it makes sense. That must be a stage name.
Yeah. Well, I will. And for this next joke, I'm gonna embezzle the laugh in the room.
How fucking funny would it be if Bernie Madoff got like paroled and he went into stand-up and he just does all financial fraud puns? I would die. I would laugh so hard at that. Oh, I can't wait to drain you of your net worth of laughter. I'd be rolling.
Where are people from? Is he from? Are you from Ponzi, New Jersey? Dutch.
Wow, what a room! Reminds me of a pyramid scheme.
Get it? Because I did a pyramid. I
did a pyramid
I stole like
scheme.
$50 billion.
God damn it.
What's going on, Jay? What's new with you?
I'm just tired, man. I miss naps. I really do. That was
So
the best
you miss
thing.
Naps, like when you're pissed off your parents stopped your naps when you were like 3 years old, and you're trying to get back there.
No, that was like college. Like I guess some people went to class. I took afternoon naps, and it was the greatest thing ever.
I still do that sometimes. I'll probably do that tomorrow before because I got to do a 10 o'clock tomorrow, so I might as well get if I can get like a 45 minutes in, like my brain kind of resets for a bit, and I'm like, I feel okay.
Naps are pretty. I think they should like be institution like
Siestas.
in the siesta. They should have that here.
They did studies about how like naps affect people, and it's like the people who take naps are like much better workers than the people who just work straight through.
I read something that you should drink a cup of coffee and take a nap right afterwards, and the combination of the nap plus the coffee,
That's running with the devil, though.
that makes you super awake, and I kind of want to try that.
But if you can't get to sleep, because here's what would happen to me. I would drink the coffee, and then I'd lay down, and I'd be like, all right, I got 15 minutes before the shit kicks in. I need to sleep right now. And then the pressure would be too great, and I wouldn't be able to get to sleep. Then the coffee would kick in, and then I'd be red-eye, and I'd fuck it up. There'd be no way.
It was supposed to be like how to get your coffee to really work. It was one of those, whatever.
That's
The internet
weird.
told me that.
That's you know what, doing that coffee nap thing, that's the same thing as like reading in instructions on how to like autoerotic asphyxiate. Like, it seems good in theory, but people die.
The instruction manual must be
They're like, follow these instructions precisely, and you're gonna be under a lot of pressure to make this work. And if you screw it up, man, good luck.
Your whole day's ruined.
Your whole day's ruined.
I don't know. It's also one of those things where you're like, really? Is coming that bad on its own that you have to add death into it?
I guess, hey, if you grew up with $80 million, I bet you'd be way into that shit, because what else you got to do?
Maybe that was the uncut version of Born Rich. What do you do with your time? Well, I try to cut off my air path while I jack off, and yeah, that's usually like kind of a 9 to 5 thing for me.
I feel like that's one of the most unnecessary things to do while you're whacking off.
I mean, there are lots of things people do that are unnecessary, just kind of stupid. I mean, you could say the same thing of like, I understand if you're using a parachute to jump out of a plane if you're in battle, but going skydiving without doing that, it's kind of a really dumb thing to do also.
Yeah, that's true.
Lots of really risky, like there was a thing on 60 Minutes. These guys, they would wear what amounts to like a bat cape, and they would jump off like mountains, and they'd go flying, and they'd be like, you'd be falling, but like also like kind of flying also, because it would give you a little more air.
Oh, like a flying squirrel, right?
Yeah,
It's
kind of like
yeah.
that. And the way the videos of them were unfucking believable. The guy, you looked like you could really fly. One of the guys there after the show, after the special airs on 60 Minutes, one of the guys actually does die doing it, and you're like, of course you deserve to die. Why the fuck would you do that in the first place? Is it really that necessary to like? Could you just fucking? You really need just go fucking watch a movie, asshole. You really need to like jump off a mountain and like. Does anyone like really like you mourn the guy's death and go, yeah, that's you die that way? Like
This
like,
is just
it's
it's
like,
just me.
yeah.
But like I think people who do that shit are like trying to be like they don't have a real talent, so they can't enjoy themselves in security. You know, they can't be like, I can't watch a movie because it's not extreme enough, dude. Because otherwise, how else am I supposed to do anything without impressing everyone all the time? I need to. It's like the one kid who always had a fucking cousin that all like was better than everyone. It's the same principle. It's like it's like a guy who's always trying to one up everybody with like, hey man, we're just having fun here. But he's like, no, I jump off of buildings. God damn it.
Yeah, it's like being a daredevil. There's no talent in that. Like they're like, I'm gonna go in a barrel and go off a waterfall because I'm a daredevil. I'm like, literally anybody can do that. You're not a daredevil.
Yeah, that's just stupid. It's not like a talent or something It might impress dumb people, but it doesn't impress like regular, people who think about stuff.
Dude. I mean, like I'm just gonna put a noose around my neck while I jerk off, man. Like that's like it's okay. I need the thrill.
Do you guys want to do some questions?
Yeah, I think Steven.
Yeah, let's do it up.
100.
Did you guys hear about that pro-gun bitch that she has like a Facebook page promoting how much she loves guns and
Oh yeah,
posting
yeah, and then
gun
her like
memes?
4-year-old grabbed the gun and shot her by
What
accident.
happened?
She left a loaded 45 in the back seat of her car and then put her toddler in the back of the car, and he shot her in the back while she was driving.
Wow, that's really that's awful.
That's
Not for her, but
that's
for the toddler.
ironic. That's very ironic. But
That's awful for the toddler. That's
yeah, it's
I mean,
very.
it's
You
awful.
shot your mom. That's
Yeah, like you're like, oh, how did mom die? I shot her with a gun.
She didn't die though. I think what happened, I might be wrong about this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she called the cops and they brought her to a hospital and then like she's okay.
Yeah, the gun went through her, so she's not in great shape.
The gun went through her, like the toddler threw the gun right through her body.
It went in her back and out her abdomen.
Yeah.
And if you go to her Facebook page, it's the comments there are just amazing.
My son had a play date recently with a kid, and we're like new to this.
And he
neighborhood.
shot him.
No, but it's gonna relate. The mom texted was texting with my wife, and she said, I don't want this to be a strange question, but because of stuff going on in the news, do you have guns in the house? And in other parts of the world, other parts of the U.S., I could see that being like a very common. But we were like, no, why would we have a gun in the house? It just
We
seemed
had
like
guns in the house growing up. I remember we had guns. Because I was growing up in Wisconsin, it was definitely a lot more lenient. We had rifles.
Did you use them on your playdates?
Only once in a while,
Okay.
if we get a hold of the ammunition. No, they kept them locked up, and then like when I was like a teenager, my dad took us to like a shooting range, and we shot like skeet with a shotgun and a .22. Like it wasn't crazy.
Do you think so this woman would not let her son play at another house that has a gun? I assume that's where she's going with it.
I think so. I think she got paranoid, and she's like, well, if people just leave their guns out, this woman did. She's like a spokesperson. If you have a gun,
Should
how do I
have
know?
Would it be good for my being new to the neighborhood if I organized a Second Amendment rally around her house?
I think it'd be awesome if you sent her a picture of just a gun and see like where her mind goes with it. Be like,
What if I
yeah,
just take a picture of the kids playing at our house, but then Photoshop a gun in and go, see, bitch, there was a gun here.
is it loaded? You tell me. We'll find out. She
Or
sounds very like soccer mommy, like she's like kind of a helicopter parent.
or just took a picture of me flexing and go, yeah, there's two guns here.
Oh, that'd be sick. You should do that. That's the best answer.
Actually, see, the kid came over that play date, and he had a Lightning McQueen car, or he may or may or not, and I guess he lost the car, and the wife sent us the mom sent us a couple of emails to my wife, being like, do you know where the car is? He loves this car. And my wife's like, we have to find the car. We're new to the neighborhood. She's gonna think we stole the car. And we're like, I don't know what the fuck this car is. Like, I don't see it here. She left it in the hands of a 4-year-old. Of course he lost it. How's it our fault? That's a. So hopefully they'll have a play date again in the future.
It'd be funny if your kid's just stockpiling all of his toys, just taking all of them, throwing them in the closet somewhere.
She's like, my son said that your son doesn't have any Lightning McQueen cars, so that way, if you see one, it has to be my son. Then she sent us a picture of a Lightning McQueen car. I'm like, I fucking know what a Lightning McQueen. I get what it would look like. I don't see it. I'm like just so tired. I want to go to sleep. My wife's like, we have to keep looking for this, and I'm like, oh, fucking.
How shitty is that? It's just like we're adults. Can we just not worry about this stupid crap right now?
You can't ask. I'm like, you can't ask a 4-year-old. I'm like asking my son. I'm like, where did he have the car? And he's like, he had it outside. I'm like, the play date was indoors. This is great, helpful.
Thank you for making shit up.
I was like, honey, just write her back and say, ask your son where the car is. I'm sure you'll get a great answer.
He had it on a cloud.
I used to be such a little liar when I was growing up. I remember one time something was damaged in the yard. Like, I can't remember. Somebody broke something, and it was totally me. I'm pretty sure, like, I broke, like, the siding off our house or something. And then I'm like, my parents were like, how did that happen? And I was like, we had a neighbor kid named Andy who was kind of a degenerate, and I kind of picked up on that, and I was like 6. And I was like, that kid's a bad kid. So I was like, I think I saw Andy doing it, and they totally believed me. And I now realize, I was just thinking, I never, ever came clean with that. I wonder what happened if they, like, hit him or something, and it was my fault.
Were you, like, blaming the shit on that kid for, like, the next 5 years? Like,
I did periodically pull that card out of my hat. Every once in a while, I was like, I think Andy fucking did it this time, guys.
Andy moved to Montana, like, 2 years. I'm pretty sure.
I think he came back to fuck with us.
So basically, Andy right now is explaining to a jury how he shouldn't be held responsible for this crime because his dad intermittently beat him because of some shit the other kid down the street was saying.
He doesn't even know.
Oh no, the belt!
He doesn't even know he was getting blamed for stuff. He just knew his dad would kick his door in like once a week and start berating him about breaking shit.
As far as Andy knows, his dad would just make up shit that he did to the neighbors and beat him for it.
He thought his dad was a fucking psychopath. Poor Andy.
Rose bushes. I don't even know where the rose bushes are.
I don't know anything about these signing.
I was watching Power Rangers. God damn it.
I don't even go to that school. How could I have pulled the fire alarm? Oh, God damn it.
We would like to formally thank Dustin for turning in the criminal in this case.
We were going to assume Al Qaeda or ISIS, but then we found out it was Dustin led us to the right criminal here.
Over 10 years after the fact, the commission has finally come to a decision thanks to Dustin Hanson. 9/11 was caused by Andy.
I would like that theory better than whatever Jay actually believes. My son will make stuff. My son he just makes stuff up and thinks it's funny. And he had this game going where this other kid would do it, where you like say 3 things about something, you have to guess what it is. And there's a very simple game, like it would be like it has leaves, it's tall, it has bark, a tree. But now he does things like he's like no, he's like, Dad, let me go. I'll be like, okay. He goes, it's tall, it eats dolphins, and you're like that's not anything. He's like, ha ha ha. It hunts wolves. It's made of cheddar cheese. You're like, that's not how the game works. My son's a little mind mess.
Yeah, I think he likes to just fuck with you.
It's pretty much.
That's really funny. What the hell could eat dolphins?
Yeah, it's just he comes up with he's obviously not going for anything. He just wants to
he just wants to name facts about something.
I feel like he's been fucking with you for about 2 years now.
Oh yeah. I'm with my daughter.
What possibly could eat dolphins, man? A bigger dolphin. All right.
I'm like, I know you're not actually saying. Oh, no. It's covered in yellow. It's on the moon, and it's friends with Curious George.
So you don't win that game very often.
So a woman was shot by her. What's the questions we have from Steve?
Oh no, we're on a different story. Austin wanted us to. The first line of the story that he sent is a former meerkat expert at London Zoo was cleared Tuesday of assaulting a monkey handler in a love spat over a llama keeper.
Wow.
That sounds like either really mundane or very sexual. Like
I had to read that about 8 times to figure out what the hell is actually happening.
the monkey handler. So they're all three like they could have just said there's 3 zoo workers in a love triangle, but they're like they wanted to
Make it
also
sound hilarious.
include-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
they also
like-
want to include like their jobs.
It's like Dr. Seuss is covering the criminal beat now.
Okay, questions. Is this from Steve? The next 74 from Steven.
Steven!
I think people had asked not to be lumped into him. When it's not Steven's question, you have to say who else it is.
Right,
When
yeah, I made that mistake
all right, when
last
somebody
time.
texts you or says something to you 70 times, in any other circumstance, they're crazy.
Mhm.
Like I know Steven's a big fan, but like I went through a breakup recently where the girl
My
sent
webcam
me
is on, Steven.
like 50 times, and she's crazy. So Steven, careful with.
Steven's now he can text me directly, which is wonderful.
Oh, you can text her. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
I don't know what. Like,
Your
Does he know your
webcam-
address?
Your webcam is not on. By
He's
the
in
way.
Canada. If he wasn't in Canada, he's barred from leaving the country. If that wasn't the case, then I would really do something about this.
So he writes, is Dustin a masochist? Is that what it takes to be a comedian?
Somewhat. I think you have to you develop a high pain tolerance. I don't think it's you like pain because you'd rather do well. I think it's more like I want a voice, so I'm willing to do all the dumb shit and eat shit in order to develop that voice. It's pretty much that simple. I know there's nothing funny about that, but that's just what it is.
All right.
Steve, if you want
Not
to do
every-
stand up, you don't.
Not everything a comedian has to say has to be funny. Like sometimes he could be just he could be deep. He could just be sharing us.
You know, I'm a philosopher, Steven. I bring you the truth, okay? And if you laugh, you laugh. But otherwise, at least you're learning a lesson.
Favorite serial killer? Mine is Richard Ramirez.
There was a guy in Chicago. They were making a movie about this guy. Sorry, he was he killed throughout. He was this major serial killer. I'm trying to remember his name, but he had a hotel of death basically in New Orleans. He built a hotel specifically by the World's Fair, specifically just to kill people.
That was this season's American Horror Story.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
Maybe it's
that's
based
fun.
on maybe it's based on this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, his whole thing was basically.
I'm gonna go with sorry, I was just
Go. It's the craziest story. And Steven says, Steven, write questions to us. Don't send separate questions to me. His name is H.H. Holmes.
My favorite future serial killer is Steven.
Yeah, probably. His name is H.H. Holmes. This guy, if you read about this guy, it's fucking insane. There was some book about him called Devil in the White City or something. I had heard about it. I started reading about this guy, Wikipedia. He had the most, he confessed to killing 27 people, and apparently he could have killed up to 200 people. It was he was in the late 1800s. He was alive.
Yeah.
It was called the Murder Castle. He specifically built the hotel with the only purpose to get people in there and kill them, and he had all these different traps for people in the hotel.
Yep. That was this season's American Horror Story.
Is that show still good?
Not really. Mine is Ed Gein. Because without him, we wouldn't have had Silence of the Lambs or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 2 very good movies.
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
I mean the Silence of the Lambs was also based on him.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Jeffrey Dahmer because gotta represent Wisconsin.
There you go.
You ever looked at Cracked? Dustin, you ever know that website, cracked.com?
Oh yeah. I
Jay's,
read that shit every once in a while.
Jay's turned me on that site, and that site, they sometimes have these just really interesting articles, and one of them was it was 6 criminals. It was basically 6 serious psycho killers, and then each one of them ends with the person not being caught.
That's
and
scary.
and I was like, oh, this is one of the more disturbing things I've ever read on any website ever. Great.
You know, there's serial killers that do apparently go through they just go through a phase and then they just stop, which is why they don't get caught because they don't keep killing, so they don't give any more evidence. So they're just like, it's, I'm sick of that.
Wait, is this a thing? They grow out of it?
Yeah, they grow out of it. Which is like sometimes serial killers do that, which is why the trail goes cold, because they don't leave any more bodies, so the police don't have anything more to go on, and they're like, well, I guess he's done.
Honey, don't get on him about murdering the neighbors. She's just gonna grow out of that.
I mean, they do. It happens.
I mean, we didn't even really like the Johnson family. I mean, they were kind of they let their play. They didn't really mow their lawn. They were a better family will move in. Then he'll murder that family if we don't like them, and eventually he'll stop murdering.
And are they any less messy when they're in pieces all over the yard? Be honest.
Oh, you a funny one, honey. Are we gonna get to any of Stephen's questions?
Has Jay finished The Evil Within yet? No, I'm only halfway through. Has Mark finished raising his son yet?
No.
What if you were like, yep, I'm out. He's living on his own now.
4.5. Get a fucking job.
How hyped is Jay to play Lords of the Fallen? 7 out of 10 hyped.
Why is Lords of the Fallen? It's the game.
It's an Xbox game. Why didn't Mark read the Twitter questions yesterday? I was bitching about Jewish landlords.
I don't read. Jay has decided he reads the Twitter questions.
I didn't see that at all. I think that's made up. I think you're pulling a Mark's son. I don't think those Twitter questions actually happened.
It's on Twitter. It's about landlords.
And it eats dolphins.
It eats dolphins.
And it's made of cheese.
And it rides a hippopotamus.
These are from our Facebook group. You can join them and post questions too.
Do you ever think it's weird that all the Disney and the cartoons make really dangerous animals seem cute and friendly?
Yeah, I don't think that's a very safe thing.
Like Care Bears. Oh, son, they're not really Care Bears. They're vicious animals. If you see one, you should piss on yourself because you're probably going to die.
I mean, even elephants are relatively docile creatures, but it's you don't want to be walking around next to them. They'll stomp on you and you'll die.
Yeah, it's mean to push an elephant off of a building because he can't fly like Dumbo. So that'll just crush people.
Did you guys see that cartoon that the guy who made Ren and Stimpy made about Yogi Bear? And he had Boo Boo turn into a real bear, and he was just drooling and screaming at things and ripping bark off of trees. It was the greatest thing.
Can you send that to us?
Yeah, I'll send you a link. It was the greatest thing. Let's see. Does New York City smell like garbage? Which borough is the best?
The best garbage?
Well, first in the summer, it does smell like garbage. There's especially near garbage day when you walk in some areas, you're like, it smells really bad.
Yeah, I'd say Chinatown is the worst.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because then you get the fish and garbage smell.
I mean, as far as the best, it's I don't know what you mean by I guess anywhere that they try to keep it Midtown. I guess they try to anywhere there's tourists and they're it's actually not a piece of garbage. It's not trashy. So that and maybe the financial district's okay.
I mean, Chinatown, there's restaurants, there's shops there that sell the parts of the chicken you'd never think about eating.
Yeah.
They just sell the weirdest thing. I don't even want to eat half the stuff they have down there.
New York City is so weird though because you could have 8 different smells on one block. You'll smell garbage, and then you'll smell a delicious bakery, and then you'll smell bomb, and then you'll smell hot dogs,
and then you'll smell porn store.
Yeah.
And then which everyone who's been around knows what that smells like. You know what that smells like? It smells like Atlantic City. Atlantic City smells like that. It smells like ash and porn mist, which is gross, but
the less popular air freshener.
Yeah.
Were you just whacking? Oh, no. It's the air freshener.
No, just cleaning up.
No, I just like that smell. It's our intimate time smell.
God, it's the weirdest smell. It's so gross. It's plasticky.
Yeah, it's lube and plastic.
Yeah, it's whatever they use to clean up the cum off of a porn site or porn set or whatever. It's peep
booth, whatever. Next best place to have an open mic night.
What is a worse job? The guy who has to carry the 100-pound balls or the guy who has to clean up the aftermath of a porn set?
You ever
Still
notice-
still the balls. Still the worst job.
You ever notice at the grocery store they have there's like 12 different varieties of apples. Stop masturbating for my show.
Steven writes, best Android games.
I got an Android. When I'm on the subway, I have like the Game Boy Advance emulator. It's called
nice.
My Boy, and I put it on my phone and like I can play Game Boy Advance bullshit.
Oh, that's
Zelda,
cool.
Link to the Past.
I sometimes like you'll be next to someone playing like what's the one with the fruit? I know it's
Fruit Ninja?
is that what it's called? Fruit Ninja. I'm like, you look like a fucking moron. Why are you doing this? Like you really have to slice fruit? Like are you think you're gonna win something?
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
that's definitely one of the worst.
Wait, this is a half-hour train ride. You're gonna do this fucking fruit thing the entire ride?
I'll take that over the guy taking a shit right on the train though. So like
Yeah.
we're doing okay.
I mean, do you want to take a break and take a shit instead of like cutting oranges?
You know, you could be making better use of your time there, buddy.
You could be cutting fruit with your finger.
You could be cutting turds with your butt.
I feel like the people who play Fruit Ninja are always the ones that play with the volume on at full blast too.
Yeah.
I feel like also the guy taking a shit on himself in the subway doesn't have an iPhone.
I've seen bums with cell phones though. Like I saw at least 2 this week.
There's a
that just,
program- I think
just
there's
had a flashback of a really bad bit that I had about a bum with a cell phone.
I think there's
It's
a
so
program with
bad.
the city with the homeless people where they give them phones, cell phones.
With like internet?
I don't know the degree of what they give them. I don't think they give them an iPhone. But
Who
I
are
do
they
think,
going to call?
Well, the idea is that like it makes it easier to get back into society if they have a phone number. Like,
That's true.
like I think it's like I don't think it's like the bum that's living on the street like that's asking for money, but like if you're like I shouldn't call like the person's like living in a shelter or trying to like get back, they having the phone makes it easier for going to job interviews. You have a phone number to call now. You're not like, what's my number? My number's 411.
It's so hard to get not homeless once you're homeless. Like it takes a while. Like everybody always talks about like, man, you got to keep going real rock bottom to really get there. But it's like once you're homeless, like it's got to be so hard to get not homeless.
Yeah.
It must be like one of the hardest things ever to pull yourself out of that.
Listen to Jay talk shit about the guy who plays Fruit Ninja. Dirty motherfucker plays Candy Crush. What a goddamn hypocrite. Make fun of him.
I used to play Candy Crush.
Oh, that's from Steven, by the way. Steven, why don't you just send it to the show? Jay can read it to you.
He's posting in the chat.
And now he says talk. He wants. I'm reading your messages, Steve. I can't do anything. I can't do 2 things at once.
He wants to direct this show.
Steven, call in. You can make fun of Jay. You can call into the show and make fun of Jay all you want.
Jay and Mark, I want you to be prettier next time.
He was sending me during the week. It was like whatever. It was like Tuesday night. He's sending me a thing that says he's like, Jay wanted to be a video editor, but the video editing on episode 3 of Brink wasn't very good. Make fun of him. And I'm like, could you do this on the show? I'm gonna memorize bits to like make fun of Jay on the show with.
It just sounds like a megalomaniac emperor. Like, make fun of him now.
Dance for me.
That's for just beat him up. Hit him in the head with a hammer.
Episode 3 was
I don't care what happened to episode 3.
well, episode 3 was
we're like-
audio editing. It's completely different.
Dustin, if your dream was to become a video editor, do you think you could?
Oh, yeah. That's not that hard.
Jay's dream in life to become a video editor and just couldn't make it work.
I mean, like, what do you mean, like a paid video editor?
Yeah.
You could do that. You just gotta like fucking I don't know what I'm talking about. You could probably do like I do audio editing and like I write and mix music and that's hard shit. But it's doable. You just gotta do it.
It's Jay's dream, and I'm sure it actually is pretty hard, and he's explained it, but it does kind of sound like if someone says to you, my dream's to become a baseball player, you'd be like, okay, I mean, kind of hard to do. But if someone says to you, my dream's to become a plumber, you'd be like, okay, go fucking be a plumber. It's like, it's not like just do it.
Thing is, you gotta establish like a client base or whatever. You gotta be like, if you want to do it full time, you gotta have like referrals. It's like that stupid shit with everything now, where you have to have like you got to work like a slave for like 2 years or something, and then eventually you got to eventually just tell people like, yeah, I don't do that for free anymore, and then they go, what? Because nobody wants to pay for shit like that. Nobody wants to really pay for anything like artistic. That's the problem.
See, that's what I was saying. You have to work for free for like years. I was I didn't have the opportunity to work for free for that long. But my friend is editing Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, so I'm kind of jealous.
I really like that show.
That show's really good.
It's very on point.
It's as good as The Daily Show ever was.
Oh, Steven clarified he wasn't talking about episode 3 of the podcast. He was talking about how I was supposed to film a musical performance. This is when I was trying to do video editing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this group said, we'll give you like $100 if you like film us. So I filmed the whole thing, and then I get home, and somehow my tapes got wiped, and so I get home to like 3 hours of just blank tape.
God, that must have been so.
So that was your
frustrating.
big break, and you fucked it up, Steven. Actually, I appreciate that. It was actually a pretty good one, Steve. Jay's
Now make fun of him, crush him.
I have no idea how that happened.
Why am I in business school? Because the tapes got blanked and I fucked up my video editing thing. That's why I want to be an accountant. Sign me up.
That was my one shot.
Here's the M&M's in the background singing.
Steven writes, why did Jay give up on Candy Crush? Did he realize he's not a 7-year-old girl?
Yeah, Jay, are you not a 7-year-old girl?
I am not a 7-year-old girl.
Okay, good.
Why did you realize that?
After I got up to level 1,233.
There's
See,
that
once
many
you're into
levels?
that deep end.
There's like, I don't know, 1,600 levels.
Once you pass level, say, 15, aren't you like, this is kind of pointless?
Yeah, but then you're on the subway, and it's either like try not to make eye contact with people on the subway or fuck around on your phone.
Maybe you should make eye contact. Maybe you don't know where that will lead.
Well,
Maybe life would just take it off for you. Maybe someone would look your direction and go, hey, handsome, do you want to edit my videos? I produced marketing things.
you look like you're a video editor. You got that gleam in your eyes, kid.
I was just walking.
Candy. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
I was just walking on the set of Avengers Part 4, and I was thinking, we need a better editor. And you seem like the right. Oh, you're playing Candy Crush. I'll pick up.
You strike me as a 7-year-old girl.
I will talk to the guy shitting himself. He'll be a star.
And
I like
that
the
guy,
idea that if you want to play Candy Crush, it's like there's a thing before you go in the game. It's like, are you a 7-year-old girl? Please say yes.
How about doing a open mic night on the subway?
You know what? That's just as bad as like when people do those
Showtime
dance things.
Who's here on their way to work? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, you're gonna love this. No, we won't.
I'd rather
no one
that
has ever
than
loved this.
I'd rather that than Showtime.
Shows. I actually
Here's the thing.
They do come out kind of crazy
super-
stuff.
I'm super like for people chasing their dreams and whatever. Like I walk through Washington Square Park all the time on my way to go do a show, and there's kids and adults, whatever, out there playing guitar, and they got their drums and they're singing, and it's like, hey, I'm busy and I'm going, not for me, but you do your thing. Like go. The thing when people do that shit on the subway is it's a captive audience, and it's like, we can't walk away from this, and you know that.
Yeah,
and that makes it malicious, and it's the same thing we were talking about before, where it's like, if I'm already here and then you bring it to me, it's like bringing it in my living room. Like, there's no reason why I don't have the right to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Do you like that better, or I'm going on a class trip, I have candy bars I'm going to sell instead of being on the street slacking, slinging heroin. If you want to buy my send me to Italy on my class trip. Thank you.
I like
That
how
is
those
the
are the
lesser of two evils.
And you're like,
I'll
it's
take
fucking
that.
summer. You're not even in school. Just stop fucking lying, okay?
I like
I'd
how
rather take that though.
that's the only
So
two
rather
options:
take it.
selling Welch's fruit snacks or doing heroin in an alley. Those are the only two options, guys.
Wait, it's either be a video editor or a 7-year-old girl. Those are your two options.
Steven writes, does Jay still work with the United Nations? No, I do not.
Jay, did you ever work with the United Nations?
Yes.
What was this?
This is when I first moved to Manhattan. I got a temp job there, and they This was about 11 years ago, and they paid me, I think, $18 an hour, which is kind of a lot back then,
Oh, that's pretty good.
to remove staples from paper.
Wow.
8 hours a day.
Are you
Holy shit.
being like exaggerating or
No, not at all. They hired 8 of us. 7 of us removed staples from paper, and the other person
And one of them stapled them back in.
the other person scanned them because they were going digital.
Oh, I mean, I guess that's like there's some purpose to that actually.
So it was like kind of like group therapy. We would just sit around at a table and like tell everyone how terrible our lives are.
The
Arts and crafts for adults.
Yeah.
I see why war happens because we have fucking staples. Fucking let's staple Iran's.
John writes, "Why hasn't Taco Tuesday become a thing yet?"
It's true. So Dustin,
Yeah.
would you listen more to a show, say a podcast, if they mailed you tacos?
Yeah, man. I would do it. I mean, depending on the tacos, and if I sometimes would get a Choco Taco, which
we
is,
didn't even consider Choco
fuck yeah.
Tacos.
Do you think if we were gonna mail tacos, we'd choose soft shell or hard shell?
Well, I would, if I was in charge of the operation, I would use hard shell because by the time it gets to them, it's just nachos and fuck them.
Good point. No one's ever upset when they have just nachos.
Yeah.
That is
And a
true.
hard shell taco is kind of like holding a hand grenade. Like you never know. It's never gonna like be good. I've never seen anyone successfully eat a hard shell taco.
We discussed this in the show. It was John's idea, and we called a Staples in Los Angeles and talked to the store employee about buying the right envelopes for mailing it. It was one of our better bits of the show.
John also writes, "Why haven't they introduced a high-end vodka to the market named Zima that is packaged in the exact same way that old Zima was? 12-ounce bottles of premium booze available in packs of 6, 12, and 24. It's not a bad idea. I could go for
Yeah, I
like
don't know.
a
Sure.
12-pack of rum.
Yeah, 12-pack of vodka makes total sense.
That would, you know what? That'd be a hit with like white chicks. Yeah, I would think you could sell the 12-pack of you make a killing on the singles of Zima, and then you could put you could do Zima lime.
You gotta put a
And
splash of cranberry. You put a
Little-
splash
yeah,
of cranberry.
You could have Zima, vodka crayons. That's a good idea. I don't know why anybody hasn't done that. I guess probably because they might have done it in the past, and then like too many white women died, and then like they had to like regulate it.
Is Zima still a thing?
I
have
can't
no
imagine
idea.
what it is. I've never even tried Zima.
The second time
It sounds awful.
The second time I ever got drunk was Zima.
Really?
Yeah.
What does Zima taste like?
But it tastes like really bad pussy grease.
Trying to go back to like
What does really good pussy grease taste like to you?
Great Zima.
I don't even remember what Zima tastes like. It was like
Zima means winter in Slavic languages.
it was
Wow.
literally 20 years ago.
It ceased to be produced in the United States in 2008.
First time I ever got drunk was Molson Ice.
Mine was Mike's Hards and the like Bacardi chick drinks, whatever those are.
Mm-hmm.
I got the most white girl drunk the first time.
White girl drunk? Is that like where you just like lose your shit completely?
Well, it's like, yeah, you kind of lose all control of your body into the rhythm, and but it's more like, I mean, it was just Mike's Hard Lemonade and like Bacardi. I can't remember. They're like their wine coolers or whatever. It's like Bacardi spritzers or something, and they were like low alcohol content, and I had to drink like 8 of them, and I was like 16. I had no business doing that. I should have been drinking a beer.
There is something to the fact, like, guys, like, you drink, you become, like, say, an asshole. But girls drink, and they become, like, one more drink, and they become, like, a paraplegic. You're like,
Yeah.
how can you be that drunk? Just get the fuck up.
They become wet noodle. Like, you know how they give guys shit for whiskey dick, right? They're like, I can't get it up because he drank too much. But, like, women get whiskey dick throughout their whole body. they can't fucking keep it together. They can't straighten up.
Yeah, it's like they're a wet crying noodle.
Yeah.
Because there's always tears. When they get that drunk, there's always tears at some point. It's like they remember something their ex-boyfriend told them 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And it hurt their feelings again.
They're in a drunk state, like, and their subconscious brings up like a bad dream they had about you, and then they lose it. God, women are terrible, right, guys, with their feelings?
The worst.
So, I'm really not liking this speed date. Why is it taking so long? Why are women terrible? We're not terrible. Why are you so mean?
Shut up, have some Zima. Got a 12-pack.
It's tasty. I like it. I want a splash of cranberry in that. It'd be good.
Getting Zima limes.
Did you see the new Kardashians? I can't believe what they did. Those girls are out of control.
Oh, man. I really need those Zimas. Whoever came up with that idea was good job, dude.
I miss Hooper's Hooch.
I don't think I know that one.
That was like Mike's before Mike was popular, but it had like real fruit. Like
I tried.
Actually had like the pulp of the fruit in the bottom of it.
So I was my daughter's second birthday we had it at our house recently, and I was getting like my wife was like get some like beers for the guys there, and so I went to get beer, and I saw they didn't have the root beer one you were talking about, the not your mother.
Not your father's root beer.
They didn't have that one, but I got a different one. It was pretty good. I everyone like I was like, oh, you want root beer? And they're like, ha ha ha. And then we were all sitting around, like all of us were standing around drinking root beer. And we're like, this is not bad actually.
Austin,
I remember I was at like a graduation party for my friend's brother. We were sitting around, and it was at the point of my life where we were both in college, and there was a graduation party out of his dad's garage, and they were playing music, whatever, and we're both kind of looking at each other, me and my friend, like, why don't we just go get high right now, because this sucks. But his dad had like O'Doul's, like the non-alcoholic shit, and I was like, I'll have one of those. And then his dad proceeds to give me shit. He's like, there's no alcohol in that. You're really gonna get fucked up. And it's like, hey man, you bought this. This is yours.
Right.
Like, why are you giving me? Did you buy this just to make fun of people that you had over at your house as a guest? Who are you?
Yeah, and
that was so weird.
That girl you're having sex with, she's so ugly. That's your wife. Why are you giving me shit for this stuff? She's so wrinkly. Who would nail that one? It's your wife again.
What are you doing, man? Who are you?
Why are you hanging out in this shithole? That's your house, dude.
It's your house. This is your garage. You bought this, and it's up to you to improve it or not, I guess. You could have bought cheaper than O'Doul's. You could have bought PBR, and then I would have had a better time listening to your smart mouth, Mr. 50-year-old.
Austin writes, which fan of the show gives you the biggest headache? And Andrew writes, I wonder.
If it's not Steve, go home.
We love all the fans of our shows.
Yes, they're all amazing.
We love
Steve's
all the fan of our show.
Andrew writes, can you talk about superhero movies and or comics for the next 10 minutes just to piss off Steven?
When you said Steven, you mean Mark?
Mark too, but Steven hates superhero movies for some reason.
Dustin, are you excited for Superman versus Batman?
No, I can't. I'm not excited for any more superhero. We've been in like the superhero movie thing for like 4 years or whatever. There's so many of them. I just can't take it anymore.
Just to let you know, and I don't want to I read a spoiler, and so you know how Batman actually beats Superman?
Spoil away.
He shows his dominance by raping him.
That's hilarious. Now I am excited.
That's the R-rated director's cut.
Yes.
I'm gonna make you squeal like a pig.
Actually, they settle the differences through thumb wrestling. It's a really exciting, intense moment in the movie.
Right after the
it just turns into over the top.
Over the top with thumb wrestling.
Andrew writes, what is the criteria to be classified as a super fan?
What superheroes would you want to also see fight it out?
That's two questions.
No, forget Jane's question. What superheroes? What other would you want to see?
Like fight to the death.
Spider-Man versus the Hulk.
You know what? I want to see Black Widow versus any a mud wrestling match versus
Elektra.
Elektra, yeah.
What about Wonder Woman versus the Hulk? Because there'd be scenes of such awful violence. That would be the one situation I'd be like, it's kind of funny he's beating her.
She's just a puddle at the end.
Women's groups are like, this is not right.
What about girl power?
Yeah, it's the Hulky crush.
It's the goddamn Hulk, you stupid broad.
It's like the most offensive movie ever. The movie starts off with Wonder Woman burning dinner, and the Hulk's like, "Where's my dinner?"
Yeah, it's Mark Ruffalo, in this romantic movie, and then she burns dinner, and he turns into the Hulk.
And then they're like, "But she's a superhero too." Yeah, but he's stronger. She's a guy. Boom! Crush! Crush! Crush!
Oh, that was good.
She has to go to work. I think she has to go in her undercover life. She has to explain why her entire face is a black and blue mark.
I fell down the stairs again.
We pay you to be agile. I don't think we can accept that as an answer. I have really slippery stairs.
Andrew writes, what is the criteria to be classified as a super fan?
I think you write questions for the Break of Sanity.
Yeah, I mean, listen to the episodes, interact with us a lot. I don't know.
I think that would qualify.
Maybe Andrew's quickly becoming a super fan.
If we use your name more than once in an episode, then you're probably a super fan.
If we use your name with disgust, you're an ultra fan. We have to be sick of you.
If you can text me directly, fuck.
Yeah, don't open up that can of worms.
Oh God.
Andrew's a super fan. There we go. Well, Andrew writes, why does Jay dislike DC Comics? It's not that I dislike them. I'm just not into them. Although I do dislike Superman because I think he's cheesy.
Why is Superman cheesy and all the shit you read not?
Because he has 9 superpowers. That's stupid. Pick
He's
one.
a Superman.
Everyone else has 1, 2, maybe. You can't have every superpower. That's stupid. It's not fun.
But
He's a Superman.
But every
Ridiculous.
7-Eleven sells kryptonite, so it doesn't work out well for him.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. Everyone seems to have friggin' kryptonite dispenser in the comics. But, I mean, it's just...
That kind of makes it worse. It kind of makes it nothing matters. He can do everything, but he's, kryptonite just completely chaps his ass. So it's kind of like an all or nothing.
Yeah, I have 17 superpowers, but I get stopped by a green rock.
It is crazy. It's just so funny how abundant it is. It's like Superman came from a distant planet, and everywhere he goes around here, they have kryptonite on this new planet.
Did the planet explode? How is there still kryptonite?
Well, it goes everywhere because the planet blew up. I don't know.
Superman sucks. Anyway,
Why do you hate DC Comics though?
I don't hate DC Comics. I just don't like Superman. And I just never got into DC Comics. There's too many comics. You can't read Marvel and DC. It's too much.
Which one do you like better in this DC comic war? Dustin?
Oh, probably Marvel. But I'm a very casual fan.
I
I don't know.
DC Comics. I think DC Comics are the best. They're the greatest ever. The my favorite ones were the God damn it, where's the freaking
Huge fan.
I don't know, I'm trying to look them up right now.
What are you Googling? Comics Jay hates? Just trying to stir some shit up?
Wait, Batman's a DC comic. You don't like Batman?
No.
What? The hell's wrong with you?
I don't like solo books. I think those are stupid too. It's what's
X-Men is Marvel, right?
Yeah. It's
X-Men's my shit.
Yeah, I'm a huge X-Men fan. But it's is Batman going to die in the Batman comic? No. Of course not. It's there's no suspense.
Oh, what if he does?
You only like superheroes that die?
I like
Yeah.
I like them to have a chance to die, so there's at least some drama.
Fair enough.
I mean, what's the point of reading a story about a guy who you know is going to win literally every time?
Yeah, whatever.
Did you tear up when Peyton Manning did his retirement speech?
I did
No.
not tear up, but
I didn't even.
I heard
watch
excerpts. It was a pretty good speech.
I didn't even watch it because I don't care. How is Dustin's comedy career going? Can you give us a sample of some of his material?
Yeah,
It's like constantly getting better, but I don't have anything on like YouTube yet because I don't want to fuck it up. You know, I feel like I want to do a proper industry tape. Here's what you should do. If you want to see me, come to the Grizzly Pear on Sunday nights from 8 to midnight, or Tuesday from 8 to midnight, or Thursday at 10 p.m. I'll be there. You can also catch me on periodic dates at the Trump Taj Mahal. If you want to check that out, that's always a good show. I'll give you a comp ticket for that. And I'll be at New York Comedy Club this Sunday. Not this Sunday, Easter Sunday, whatever Easter Sunday is. I'll be at New York Comedy Club. Perfect question to get in all my plugs.
There you go.
Yeah, and I guess going forward, I'll be at Stand Up New York sometime in probably like April.
Sweet.
And that's the lowdown. If you want to catch me, I'm sorry, I don't have anything up right now other than this and like some other podcasts. I'm gonna be on at some point. I'm gonna be on the Social Villains podcast with Gene Getman and Mike Coscarelli, who are funny boys. But material wise, you just gonna have to catch me live, boy.
Gotta see him live.
We should
Yeah,
do some cross promotion.
I pulled up a list of top 25 DC Comics characters, and I haven't heard of most of them. But number 8 is the Flash, Barry Allen. Then number 6 is the Flash, Wally West.
Yeah.
There's 2 Flashes?
What DC does is they have their characters age so that like one of them gets older, so like a new one will show up that happens to have the exact same power. But then people get mad that the old one left, so they bring the old one back. So then there's like 2 or 3 guys with the same power running around.
Yeah. I can see why you don't like DC Comics. It
Yeah.
already sounds like it's pretty bad.
There's like a bunch of Green Lanterns. There's like 3 different Robins.
Yeah, there's like Nightwing. I see here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I could see if they made them older and then didn't bring them back, but bringing them back, it's just stupid.
Listen here, youngster. When I was younger, we had to fight criminals by walking uphill on glass.
I so don't know about comics like you guys do. I'm such a cat. This reminds me of when I went and saw Hall & Oates at Madison Square Garden. I'm like, I can handle this for 3 minutes, but 3 hours, man, I'm tapping out.
Well, no, Mark knows nothing about comics.
I know
either.
nothing.
Mark's Wikipediaing as he talks.
Yeah, I'm Wikipedia. I have no idea. My entire knowledge about comics right now is that my son has all these like books in the library that like they're like learn to read books, and they're like superhero ones, and now he's like obsessed with them. So I'm gonna have to get into comics to like develop
To
his
keep
reading
up.
habit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we read them, and like I'm finding out, I'm like I didn't know I learned Wonder Woman's secret identity. It was something Prince. That's
really funny if the villain learns the secret identity but like forgets the name. That'd be hilarious.
We were playing superheroes, and I was Loki, the bad guy, earlier today.
I know Batman's secret identity. Secret identity. I just had a brain fart. I know Batman's secret identity. It's Bob. Barry. It's
Bob
Barry.
Wayne.
Okay. Stephen writes, if you skip even one of my questions, I'm going to go postal.
Well, you're going to post on Canada, so who gives a
That
shit?
seems like true to form for Steve. Yeah, I'll believe that. That'll put the podcast over. If you skip one of his questions, it'll be like crazy man goes on murderous rampage because of the Break of Sanity podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people will check it out. So yeah, go ahead, skip it.
Yeah, if you could wear a Break of Sanity shirt while committing a heinous crime, it would kind of be helpful, Stephen.
That would definitely help.
You guys could be like the new ISIS. You'll be over.
Why are men self-conscious about going bald?
Who's he asking in particular?
Gee, I wonder. Bunch of pussies is just a side effect of testosterone. And I think you got to embrace it. Nobody likes the comb over.
My 67-year-old uncle has a wig that's jet black.
Yeah, I had a 70-year-old professor last semester that had this like jet black like mullet toupee. It was like the most ridiculous looking thing.
At least you should like do the toupee to be like the right age.
Yeah, at least shouldn't you do like a salt and pepper toupee?
Yeah, no, like it should naturally age, not. Yeah.
I think it should be like different rainbowy colors, like blue and orange. That'd be cool. Like a professor with like just a rainbow wig, not like a clown, but like
Just a clown.
a clown's too far.
A clown, like he's like, Professor, could you not wear the red nose today? It's hard to take calculus class. Like seriously.
I don't know. My hair is kind of thinning on top. I think at some point it's gonna happen to me. So for now, my hair is like extremely long. So maybe I can get it out of the way. Maybe it'll just be here's what I'm hoping. It'll just be kind of thin for the rest of my life on the very top of my head. But I kind of deep down know that it's gonna happen.
I mean, he sleeps with a Nazi book, and he has a crazy comb over. How are you voting for this guy?
And he's got the clown wig.
He's got the.
Somebody, I don't know where it was. Somebody asked how they could get episodes 1 and 2 because I pulled them from the internet because they're terrible. But if you really want them, email us at thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com.
We'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
I'll send you a link where you could download them. You can't get them through iTunes because I hate those 2 episodes.
Wait. So there's, based on the shows that you've left up, there's worse?
Yeah. Episodes 1 and 2 were really bad.
What the hell
That's
were you
like
guys doing?
that's fine. You shouldn't have to do that. Like no one. I guess if you're a super fan, that's like asking. That's like asking like Louis C.K. like give us a tape of you bombing, and it's like no, I don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that.
In fairness, Dustin, asking us for anything is not like asking Louis C.K. for anything.
I know, but I needed a hyperbolic example though.
Like that's the most extreme example. It's kind of like well, I guess more realistic. Asking you guys for your, it's like asking the guy at the water cooler who's telling bad jokes to tell us the bad jokes he tells at home.
It's like asking the guy who painted the mallard stamp for other bad birds that he painted. Is that more? I don't know. Look,
Yeah.
Louis C.K. is a hyperbolic example, but it's the same principle. Like
Louis
don't.
C.K. he compared Trump to Hitler, and I was like, damn it, Louis C.K.
Oh, I know. That's so hack.
I
So,
read
like,
his thing, and I was like, I see you're making a point here. I don't like your point. I thought you had.
You know what
insight.
I think that was? Because he put a plug in for his show at the end of that. I'm pretty sure his producer's like, look, you're still hot. You're probably still the #1 comic in the nation, whatever. But you're not, this isn't 2 years ago anymore. You can't really rest on your laurels. Do something, write something on the internet and see if it goes viral, and then put a thing. And then sure enough, he writes this letter, and my Facebook feed just explodes with like Louis C.K. called Trump Hitler, and then really you're just kind of reading a long blabbery thing that it looked like he wrote in 5 minutes, and then at the end it's like, see my TV thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like the text version of like clickbait.
Yeah.
He made a new show, but you have to pay per episode from his website to see the show. And I understand that that's a great way for him to make money, but I'm like, I kind of want to see your show. I don't want to fucking pay for just like your show. Just put it on. Can't you find another way to make money with it where like we can all see your show?
So you know
I
what?
think he did it like super independent, and if you're a mega fan of Louis C.K., I don't think you care, but like,
Yeah.
I think his heat is dying down now, which is predictable because no one can be that hot for forever. No one can. But
Right.
like, it's dying down now, and he's doing some other things to kind of keep it going. But eventually, he's going to go back to being, a regular working comic who's got a lot of credits, and he's still going to be pretty much at the top. But like, sitting at the top, not like a fucking rocket into space like he's been for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really taken off.
I mean, he's been the fucking king for like a long time, you know? So it's eventually you just kind of run out of steam. It's fine. It's totally okay. He's still good. He's still one of the best comics.
Yeah, I saw a scene from his show also, and I was like, they had some scene where people were debating stuff, and I was like, I don't think this scene's good enough that I want to pay $5 to see the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's been doing it hard on all fronts, like his shows and stand up. Like, you do need to not do it for a while to like build up the steam again. Like, you can't just be like perfect.
Yeah, his last special is like every special is a little worse than the one before.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens. Like, the way he put it was like you keep digging deeper and then you keep pulling shit out of yourself, and it's like, okay, but like you have a certain style and you keep writing an hour in that style, and it does keep like declining in quality. You know,
I kind of have a theory also that to a certain extent that your audience lies to you. You get up there, you Louis C.K., and anything you say is funny to a certain extent that it wouldn't. If you were just if you were just some regular comic, people wouldn't be laughing, and you have to earn your like when you first built it up, you had to earn those laughs. Now you're getting some freebies, and your stuff doesn't get as sharp because you don't have to earn it all.
Yeah, I mean, like, make no mistake, he built that audience from the ground up, and he deserves that. But at the same time, you're right. Like, he does get the benefit of the doubt from his audience, especially the people that are paying to go see him at like Madison Square Garden or whatever. They're already there to have a good time and to see their hero or whatever. So like, he's definitely playing the game on easy mode, and he's softening up a little bit. And he isn't doing the road work that he used to. He's just writing specials. So like, it's not going to be predictably. You can predict it's not going to be as good as it was. His legacy is secure unless something monumentally fucked up happens, which I can't even imagine what that would be. He is going to go down in history as one of the greats, a legend. But, he can't stay on the fucking moon for the rest of his life. He's going to have to at some point be like doing The Cellar again and maybe not have a TV show for a while.
Maybe not whacking off in front of fellow comedians.
I think that was speculative. I don't know if that actually happened. But, cause that kind of fizzled out quick, didn't it?
It didn't really go anywhere.
I think whoever put that forth, whoever it was, or whoever put it forth, or whoever put somebody up to putting it forth, was making it up to generate some side heat from what he has. That's my speculation on it. Obviously, I don't know shit about what actually goes on between him or anybody else, but from the way it went down, it looks like on its face that's what happened.
I mean, at the same time, nothing really came of it, and then like 30 years later, we were like, "Oh, I guess Bill Cosby was raping people." I didn't.
Yeah, because I guess you're right. We can never know. Maybe down the road, because like Cosby's gonna go down as one of the greats, but it's like with a huge asterisk. So I don't know.
The greatest example of any comedian you would like, the least you would ever expect it from is like this one person. You're like, I didn't think he would be the serial rapist. Just didn't occur to me the guy like on the hospitals would be the.
I don't know. Like, it's just like the thing is, you always with people that famous, you always get a sense that you know who they are really because you see them so often, and you just fucking don't. They're just a performer that you see a lot, and you're like, that's Bill Cosby. And you can tell when the way that people talk about him on the street, they're like, oh, my man Bill Cosby, my man Kevin Hart. He's not your man. You don't fucking know him. He could be a fucking asshole. You don't know.
What's so great though about like Louis C.K.'s comedy in such a way that you feel like you're just talking to your friend who's making a good joke. It's not like if you watch stand-up of like a Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg doesn't seem like he's your friend he's just some guy making jokes up there. He's really funny, but the different kind of Louis C.K. is so relatable too also.
Yeah, that's part of the charm. That's part of the stagecraft of it is like his conversational tone is like makes it seem like you're just in the room talking to him.
Yeah.
But on the same token, I really loved Hedberg before he died. He was like one of my favorite. I mean, he still is. When he died, I stopped liking him. When he's still one of my
His
favorites.
post-death humor is hilarious.
It's just like that guy doesn't make good jokes anymore.
Yeah, he was great. He's one of my favorites.
He's one of my favorites, and it was kind of like I think it hit me also at the right time in my life because I was smoking pot like so much when I got into him that it seemed like another stoner just saying funny dumb shit in the room with me. So it kind of spoke to me on that level. But even going back and listening to it now that I've got as much experience in the game that I do, which isn't a lot, but it's somewhat something. He still has like, fuck, being a one-liner comic is hard as shit. It might be the hardest, like, subsection of it to just deliver lines and then be like, well, it's gonna die or not, and I'm dying or not with it. That's fucking hard enough. And his jokes were so well crafted, as well as his persona fit them so well. It's like, that guy was going to be a legend. And now he's just kind of like, kind of a could have been legend, you know, but like he fucking was. He was really special.
There's one comedian that does it today who I think is really funny, but not that big. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Hang on, I'll look it up here. I think I have my Pandora. You can keep asking questions, Jay.
Well, we're almost done. Stephen writes, would Mark's wife lose it if Mark started gaming at night?
Dimitri Martin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dimitri Martin's another kind of one-liner guy.
He's really he's like to another level though. He's not like, I don't think he's maybe quite as good as Mitch Hedberg. Actually, some of the stuff
I don't
is
think
really
so.
funny, but like
in my head, I don't think he is. I think he's kind of like a LOL random for the college kids kind of guy, which is like, if that's your wheelhouse, more power to you. But I don't think he's like legendary. I think he's like
he's not. But I feel like he should be more famous though, also because he is pretty funny.
He's funny. He's good. I think like he's not my cup of tea. I'll tell you that much. So
okay.
I'll watch his shit and I'll laugh every once in a while. But for the most part, I'm kind of like, okay. He is good at what he does, and whatever success he's gotten, I think he's deserved. I don't know if he should be more famous or less famous. I don't really know how the business works as far as that's concerned. It's hard to say what makes fame.
I mean, he got his own TV show.
Yeah, he got his own TV show, and he's had a number of specials on Comedy Central and I think on other networks. But so like he's got something. And he's making a living off of it. He's a successful comedian who's good at it. And if you're that already, you really don't have a lot to complain about. But I agree he's not as good as like Hedberg was.
Yeah.
I got one of his DVDs.
Yeah, I think he's pretty funny. But I also agree. I mean, Hedberg also I think was better. But like it's also, who do you like better, Mitch Hedberg or Stephen Wright?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Because Stephen Wright really was the first one to do that kind of stuff. Well, not maybe the first one, but the most famous one.
He's one of like the forerunners of one-liner comedy, or like, at least like one-liner deadpan. I personally like I like Mitch Hedberg better, only because he spoke to me personally, and I came up with him around, or like I kind of grew up with him there. Stephen Wright I can appreciate though, and Stephen Wright I think is a legendary kind of dude.
I love Stephen Wright, but I feel like he was a little bit more hit or miss than Hedberg.
Yeah, and Hedberg he had the consistency in the character, where Stephen Wright was completely deadpan.
Yeah,
there was something about that. There was something, I don't know.
I feel like Mitch Hedberg could make the jokes that don't work funnier because he had like that, like because his delivery, his like jokiness with it, you would laugh at even the dumbest ones.
Yeah, some of his jokes were so stupid and silly, but like the way that they function was just like, this is stupid, and we're having fun. And there's magic to that, because I've seen, trust me, I've seen a lot of stupid shit, like a lot of dumb stuff, and 99.999% of the time, everybody in the room goes, that's stupid, shut up. But like if somebody can do it and make it work, Jesus, you know?
It's like joke about like he's like I wish I played Little League now. I'd kick ass and whatever, kick butt, and you're like, and you say way he says it, you're like laughing.
Yeah, he had a way of twisting it. I mean, I super enjoyed it. I don't know. I wish he could come back to life as a hologram like Tupac and do another set. I don't know.
Mark, would your wife lose it if you started gaming at night?
I think I would lose it because that would cut into the only sleep I get.
Has Mark shown his son Jurassic Park movies yet?
My son gets scared by the dark. I don't think he'd ever sleep again, nor would I sleep again if I showed him Jurassic Park right now. My son really just gets scared of you really if there's a monster in a cartoon, he gets scared. Which is fine. He's 4.5 years old, but Jurassic Park was just I'm waiting on that one.
When I was 8, this teenager across the street asked my dad if he could take me to the movies, and I thought I was seeing the Brementown Musicians, which I don't know if you know that story. It's like a bunch of animals that learn how to play instruments and they start a band or something. And
What did the teenager across the street do with you besides that?
he took me to see Gremlins.
No. But what else did he do with you?
No, we were friends with him. Like he came over and played video games with us and stuff.
What did he play with your joystick?
Okay.
Oh!
I can't help with it. Go on.
Yeah. So I ended up seeing Gremlins, and I think I had nightmares every day for about 2 months.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not a movie you want to see when you're 8 years old.
I had nightmares about X-Files when I was that age. I saw X-Files, and I saw the one where the guy was in the wind tunnel, and his friend or whatever, they were two scientists, and he was in a wind tunnel, and the guy turned on the fan, and the guy was gripping the cage, and he was like, "Shut off the fan!" And then the fan sucked him in and ground him up, and that just fucking scarred me.
The one
I
that
couldn't handle it.
freaked me out the most was Pet Sematary. I could never get.
With the cutting of the fucking Achilles tendon. Oh,
you're thinking of Hostel.
I was thinking of No, isn't there in Pet Sematary? Doesn't somebody's Achilles tendon get cut?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe I didn't even make it that far in the movie. I was really freaked out by Pet Sematary.
I got freaked out by John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh shit.
That was another one where I saw way too young. I was 10 years old, and then the opening scene's a dog getting folded inside out, and this blob alien thing comes out. It's still pretty gruesome. The special effects are amazing.
I didn't see that one.
That's a really good horror movie. You should check that one out. Okay, we're just about done with the questions. Does Jay need 60 frames per second to enjoy a game? No, I do not. That's it.
It's 60 frames per second faster or slower than normal video games?
That's the standard now for high definition.
Oh.
I'm more of a gameplay guy, not a graphics guy.
I can't I went into Best Buy and they had the super high def or the newest 4K TVs, and the guy's look how amazing the picture is. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care that much.
We still have my old ColecoVision at my dad's place, and last time I went home, I was playing that, and I was having fun. I don't need graphics.
Yeah, gameplay is where it's at. Even, that game E.T.
Yeah.
Where how terrible that was.
Mm-hmm.
What if that had amazing graphics? It would still suck dicks. You'd be
exactly.
oh, I can see every wrinkle in E.T.'s face while he can't get out of a pit.
Right, exactly.
It's just terrible.
Okay, so I think we are about done.
What did we learn today?
Oh man,
we learned that
sleep more. I guess sleep if you can.
Yeah,
sleep helps.
We learned that Dustin traumatized Andy.
Yeah, Andy's sorry, Andy, if you're listening to this.
He's dead. He's admitting it on a podcast, and I'm the only listener.
That'd be really funny. He's in a jail cell listening to this. I knew it. The little shit.
We are Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. Are you on Twitter yet, Dustin?
Not yet, mate. Someday.
You're gonna use social media one day?
One day. I'm on Facebook. Friend me on Facebook. I don't care. I'm not ready to get on the World Wide Web yet with myself, but maybe in the coming year I'll have some fucking handles and shout outs. But in the meantime, it's all live shit, guys.
You feel on Twitter you'd have to tell a shitty joke every day?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to pump out garbage. I think we talked about this like a couple times before, but it was like, I don't want to throw out B material. I want my Twitter to be. I need to find an angle for Twitter. Maybe I'll go on Twitter as a different character or some kind of weird troll or something, but I don't want to be Twitter as a worst version, like a lesser version of myself. You know what I mean?
Why don't you be hack comedian and just make hack jokes every day?
I was thinking about that actually, because I would do that and then riff on other comedians I know who make hack jokes and just be an awful character. But I need like more time to do that.
You should be hack Trump.
I think that's already Trump.
Yeah, what even better? Like someone should build a wall around Hillary's vagina.
All right, I'm on board. I like it.
It'll be the best wall.
Terribly hacky stuff about with the Trump angle.
I like it.
You got to do jokes about Kardashian's naked selfie.
Yeah, I'll do the things. I might. This might be a good idea. I might do like bad jokes about everything that comics do on social media that irks me, which is shitty commentary and B-level jokes and like hacky news stuff and all that kind of shit.
That's what the Brink Twitter is. I put a hacky Kardashian joke on there.
What was the deal? She
Nice, it gets them
picture
excited.
of herself naked on Twitter to like
empower herself.
Just to remind everyone that she started off as a porn star and she hasn't really evolved much in 10 years.
I don't know why.
Someday someone will explain it to me that like apparently you can, as a woman, you can be naked and it's empowering, or you can be naked and it's like not empowering. But like it means different things at different times.
I just want to say like what part of your like it's not. So she puts the naked picture on Twitter, and someone else at like the New York Times is like, "I've got to get excited about this and write about this."
I don't know. It's a heat publicity generating machine, and like her tits generate a lot of revenue for New York Times.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole obsession with her.
Yeah, it's
Me neither. I don't get it.
We also learned that if the show goes 2 hours, we really run out of steam.
Oh man, I'm just sorry, guys. I'm tired.
No, I'm tired too.
No, we're all tired.
I'm literally out of steam. Like,
Yeah.
we should have the
Just
show
cut like the boring parts. Cut like the parts in the middle.
You
'Cause
see,
it
that's
comes
the
back.
thing. Like, I don't know what
Like
the boring
SNL?
parts are.
Yeah.
I don't know what the boring parts are. I'm going to cut it, and then somebody's going to be like, oh, that was the funniest part. Why'd you cut that out?
Whatever we are, just cut a half hour ago.
That's
We did a long, shitty comedy discussion about like what our favorite comics / are or aren't, and that like it always happens on comedy podcasts. And like there are some people who like it, and then there are some people who are like, "That is so boring. I could hear it. Like I don't give a fuck." So it's like you can't please everyone anyway.
True. All right, before we meander anymore, I'm going to end the show. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for joining us, Dustin.
Absolutely.
And we will be back next week, I guess. Yeah. All right, goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you very much. And I appreciate the fact that the only way to see you is in person. Asshole. Why do you think you'd like be so selfish? You should share yourself.
You should give away all your shit for free and then make it useless.
Look, I'll be posting some naked pictures soon to generate a little, heat. And you guys can comment on Facebook and Twitter.
There you go. Break the internet.
Exactly.
Bye, love.